Welcome to the Successful Life Podcast. I am your host, Corey Barrier, and I am here with my man, Joey Yak. What's up, Joey? Joey's frozen on me because we are in the middle of a fucking...
What up?
You with me, dude?
Yeah, cut out a little bit. I would say restart that intro because it fucked up.
It's all right. Fuck it. We'll figure it out. So... Actually, I probably should listen to you, seeing as how this is exactly what you do. So,
yeah.
When you say redo the intro, what do you mean?
Just do it again right now. Like say exactly what you just said. And you could just trim that thing out. I'll trim it for you if you need me to.
I got you. Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's blah, blah, blah.
All right. Welcome to the Successful Life Podcast. I am your host, Corey Barrier, and I am here with my man, Joey Yak. What's up, Joey?
What up, man? How's it going?
Good, man. It's so funny how I had heard about Joey, but I didn't know Joey's name. I knew that he existed, and the reason I knew he existed is I've interviewed several people that have used his services, and I was almost, if I'm being totally honest, Joey, I was a little bit intimidated to even try to reach out or try to figure out who you were, because of the people that you've worked with, which sounds silly because I've interviewed the same fucking people.
Right. That's funny. It's nothing. I'm human. So as we already vibed off of the podcast, now it's probably like, cool. I'm glad I hit him up just because, man, we got a lot in common. I have a lot in common with the other people as well as you do. And how I reached out to them, man, the people is I didn't ask for permission, right? Like I would create stuff for them and just enter into their life. Like they're kind of like, where the fuck did you come from, right? So a lot of the time, the people that you think you shouldn't reach out to, it's like reach out to it. But when you reach out to them, have something for them so you stand out rather than the typical, hey bro, what's up? I want to do something for you. I want to work for you. I want you to hire me. It's like, I don't ask for permission. I just do the damn thing. I can, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I know I went all in, providing my 110% value of what I can provide right up front, right there, rather than saying, hey, because it could go like this. Hey, I make songs for people. I make custom theme songs and podcast intros. Would love to do one for you. Instantly, that's a sales pitch rather than me doing a custom personal sales video saying, for example, Brad Lee, what up, man? I'm Joey Yak. Yak stands for you already know. And if you don't know by the end of this song I'm about to show you, look, man, you probably never will. I've been following you for a long time. I love the show Dropping Bombs. And actually, I created something called Dropping Bombs right here. Check this out. And then I have a dope little swipe going with the noise. So you see the swipe and then the song will kick in. And then after the song, I'm like, yo, man, I know you're probably thinking now, like, who the fuck is this kid? So I put together a 1 minute and 12-second video of who I was and who I am. So check that out. I'm looking forward to talking with you, Brad. Thanks. Boom. It goes to my testimony video of like who I am, me touring the world with Bone Thugs, me having a record deal, me leaving all that behind and going back home to my family, marrying, now going from having a daughter and a baby mom to having a family now and being married and having a wife, marrying my high school sweetheart, to now we have another kid, to now, I went into sales, to damn, now I make music for people and for the biggest entrepreneurs in the world. And, one thing leads to one thing that leads to one thing that leads to the thing. Like it shows like, wow, this dude's a husband. He's a father. He's done shit. He's left it all behind. He's had trials. It shows all of me in 1 minute and 12 seconds, which instantly your perspective on who Joey is way different than what I would have said. Hi, I'm Joey. I make jingles. You know what I'm saying? It's boom. It's all of it right there.
So, you just hit on so many things. It was so hard for me not to interrupt you because I wanted to be like, wait.
You always can interrupt, bro. It's all good.
So, the first thing that you hit on, one is, I did similarly when I reach out to whoever it is, influencers, whoever, and that's how I started this podcast. Really is not. So that's how I started getting the people on here that I've had, is because I literally reach out via Instagram voice message, and I just say, look, dude, if it's Brad, hey Brad, this is, obviously this is Corey Berry. You can see my name on there. I host Successful Life Podcast. I would love to have you on as a guest. I do everything via Zoom, so it makes it super easy for you and super easy for me, please let me know what time and day I can put you on my schedule. Thanks. And usually it's usually that simple. I'm not going to lie to you. The other thing you said is that you add value to the person that you're, which I'm not necessarily doing this, but you are adding value to that person before they ever, as soon as they open your message, because you've already put work in and time in to, to show them, hey, I'm fucking like, I'm in this with you. That's super cool, dude. I
And
love
you know
that
what?
shit.
Like, I think a lot of people start getting. I think a lot of people sit back and they think like, okay, well, I don't make songs, so how can I do that? Like, dude, I don't care if you sell SEO. Like, everyone has a. I think it's I'm giving them value, but even if you do your research on them before you're like, even, hey, I would love to work with you. Well, like, for one, if you want to work with them, you need to see their pain points. So like, you need to create a custom little video. Like, you could screen record your screen record your camera of their website and like showing them going through their website, and then just make it personal, man, rather than the same typical, DM, hey, I'm in your DM, right? Also, the another thing is a lot of people are reaching out to other people, but they don't have their back end structured. What I mean by that is, I can reach out to you and make a banging ass song, and you're like, damn, who is this kid? Then you go to my page and you'll see Bradley, you'll see Billy Jeans, you'll see Tim Grovers, you'll see me owning who I am in my shed. You're getting to know me, and you're like, I like this dude. I'm going to spend money with this guy, right? And I know we kind of jumped right on it. So anybody listening to this that don't know who I am, kind of like I said in my pitch, I'm Joey Yak. Yak stands for you already know. And if you don't know by the end of this episode, you never will. I create custom theme songs about people's lives. I create podcast intros, and I own a company with Ryan Stewman called $1 Million Media, where we do content creation. We come out to you. And I'm sure I'll get more into my story, but that's what I do right now. I come from the music industry, and that's what I provide.
So, look, one thing that I absolutely did not fucking know about you is that you toured with fucking Bone Thugs and Harmony. Are you fucking kidding me with that shit?
Yeah, man, it was crazy.
That's like mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. Okay, so take us back, dude. Like, I gotta
Here's where
hear
it all started. So, like, 9 years old, and I'm going to try to shorten it the most possible. Like, it's hard, though, because I've done a lot.
Dude. Do it.
So, at 9 years old, I'm from St. Louis. Nelly was just blowing up, okay? And St. Lunatics, so Ali from the St. Lunatics lived in our neighborhood, and we didn't even know it. And we seen him at the fireworks stand one day, and my dad, which thought he could rap, he always thought he was like this rapper dude. He still thinks he can rap today. And he he was the no filter guy. Like, he would grab Ali and be like, yo, like, come in my car real quick and listen to me rap. And like, this is not when the white thing was cool and stuff. Eminem was coming around then, but he's like, who is this crazy white dude with his son? And I'm in the back seat beatboxing. He got Ali in the car. I'm in the back seat beatboxing and rapping to a song. And he looked at me and he was like, damn, this kid's a star. And it kind of planted a seed in me, like, in everything I did, with that, with soccer, with, like, anything I did. Like, my mindset has always been, I'm a fucking superstar in everything. Like, I was the soccer player that rapped.
Joey, God, that you just dropped something so important. You said he planted the seed, and in the belief that he had in you as that 9-year-old boy, tell me it has not propelled you and kept you rolling because of that one belief.
Yeah, but then like, I started getting so many other beliefs so I did that, right? And like, he would take us on little video shoots, and I got to meet everyone, Murph and Kiwan and Slowdown and Nelly, and like, I met everyone. I got to rap to them that young, and we would we ended up like showing up at 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday. I would hide behind a tree. My dad bang on their door like, what up? Is Ali here? Like, trying to get back in touch with them because they were blowing up, So we lost touch with them, but I started creating music and catching a buzz in St. Louis. And as I started to grow and grow and grow, throwing shows, everybody would come out. Everybody knew me as Jay Fresh at that moment. It was like, all right, I'm doing this. Me and my sister, we would throw shows together. And I started to grow. But see, the thing, like, with my dad, right? At 11 years old, he hit the crack pipe, and it was a wrap. Like, he just drifted off. Like, he was my best friend, and then it was like, yo, he's gone. So like I started going through some weird shit that now finally I'm starting to realize like what I was going through and seeing it. Because when you're in the middle, you can't see the picture when you're inside of the frame. And I was inside of the frame for so long as that picture. Now I'm finally out of it. I can look back at that picture and say, damn, that frame was fucked up. I just didn't know it, right? So growing up, I was a stud-ass soccer player. I was killing it in music. Had D1 offers. I fucked them all up. Like, I would hang up on coaches like, fuck that, dude. Like, I'm good. I was a little rebel. I was selling weed and shit, like drinking, getting fucked up, didn't care. And I ended up taking a full ride to this small community college with all my homies and did that for a year. And then I went over to England and played soccer and then came back, killed it over there. And I was like, fuck, I'm about to take this, soccer shit seriously now. 2 or 3 games into that season, I break my leg. Then the next day, I find out I'm having my daughter, which is 8 now. So I drop out of school. I say, fuck it, I'm going all in on music. I took a job at Lufuse Kia as a porter, and I did that for like a year and a half. But as I'm doing this, I'm still, going all in on music. And here's the lesson, man, is, when I was 9, 10 years old, I had this guy named Ali look at me. And now I'm, 20 with a daughter, and that guy was always watching me. He ends up calling me when I'm at my job and signs me to Dirty E.T. Universal Records. So here's the thing, man. The thing is, someone is always watching even when you don't know it. And also, someone is always watching even when they don't know that they're watching, right? What I mean by that is they're watching. The reason why they're watching you and they don't know is because you're presenting yourself in a way like you didn't know you were watching me, but then I caught your attention and now you're watching. So it's so important to be doing what you can do right now, not looking for any results because people don't know they're watching you, but when they start watching you, now they're watching you. So I take that deal. I thought I had a job as a manager, but man, I didn't even have the job as the janitor. My hustle let down because like I thought they were supposed to take over. And it's just like getting a job. Like I got the job, but now it's like I'm thinking I'm CEO or something. No, dude, you got to put the work in and you got to do your thing. So within 8 months, man, I asked to leave that record deal. They flew me out to Universal Republic with this vice president, Wendy Goldstein, and like, bought us hotel rooms and everything. And, I asked him to leave because I was, had a daughter. I was living in my mom's basement and I was selling weed. Like I had no money. I was broke. I was like, where's my money? Like I thought I was going to get a record deal and boom. I was young, immature, stubborn. I was ignorant, right? So I left that and my hustle just like, I got it back. Like literally the next day I recorded a video called Shut It Down that did great. Everybody was like, damn, like, my name was Yak Boy Fresh. And everybody was blown away by it and seeing the improvement of what I'm doing. And I'm really growing my buzz and I got new management. And then Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony heard about me and he was like, yo, we started taking meetings. Me and my new manager started taking meetings in St. Louis, like with everyone, just to see like what they could bring to the table. Like, look, we're doing this regardless. Like, what's up? And he called Crazy Bone, and Crazy was like, look, man, if this kid can, he just left this deal with Nelly and Ali and them. He's open. He's looking to blah, blah, blah. So we got out there the next day in Orange County in LA, right in that area. And we waited at the studio. On the way to the studio, I got this beat from my buddy Jimmy Hargrove, which made the Nelly and Tim McGraw that Over and Over Again a song. And I listened to the beat and I'm like, holy fuck, this is crazy right here. Like, so Crazy Bone listened to 4 songs of mine and looked at me and he was like, you're a star. Boom, there it is again. I heard it again, planted in me. And I was like, okay, bet. And that 4 songs led to 10 hours later of me and him creating a song called Scraping the Sky. So Yak Boy Fresh featuring Crazy Bone. You can check it out on YouTube. Scraping the Sky, which led to us doing a music video, which led to me doing a nationwide tour with them. We had tour buses with my face on it. Like we were living the life, man. And let me tell you something. What looked like the American dream was really a nightmare because I didn't know who Joey was. I didn't have inner peace. On the outside looking in, it was great, but like it was adderall to wake up and I couldn't go to sleep unless I was fucked up. And a big part of it was because I was flying first class on a guilt trip, not being home and providing for my family. Remember, my dad left me and now I'm not there for my kid. And, my daughter's mom, which is now my wife, is holding it down, working 2 jobs. Like I'm paying like maybe $200 in child support. It's, looking back now, I just can't believe, I just, for one, can't believe we're still together. And for 2, the fact that she held on for that long and like waited for me. Right.
So Joey, you guys were split. Essentially, if you say child support, that means you guys were kind of split
Yeah, I
up,
mean,
and
here's
now.
like I was fucked up, man. Like when I was in St. Louis, like I would act like we were together, but when I was gone, I was doing whatever I wanted to do. Just like the boy in me, right? Like I was an alcoholic, and like I used that as power, which I know now is like so to just keep going. So like, okay, I ended up in Hollywood, living in LA and stuff, and I'm in a small town called Hazelwood, which is like in St. Louis. So everybody that lives around here, we're St. Louis, right? It's I heard what I know now is God saying, you're Hazelwood, not Hollywood, go back home. You're Hazelwood, not Hollywood, go back home. And I felt that for about a year and a half. And there was incidences that happened. And I finally felt that calling of going back home and leaving it all behind. And, God interrupted what was my normal to start me a new beginning. And I came home. I did some landscaping with my brother-in-law. I did some pipe cover. That's what my dad used to do before he got kicked out. So I have a lot of connections in the union. I tried that for like 6 weeks. No. Then I tried to do a whole bunch of stupid shit. Like I'm not a labor type of dude. Like that's not me. I'm not blue collar. Like, no. So I figure like for 6 months, I'm still the same ratchet. I always tell people I was go gadget ratchet. I would always like represent that, like, oh, I'm go gadget ratchet, right? I'm the life of the party, getting drunk, doing drugs, all that shit. 6 months in though, man, like I crashed. I totaled my wife's car. Like I probably should be dead from that night. Like it was I remember waking up and seeing fire in the rear view, and it was the tire falling off, and I was just belligerent. Like supposedly I took 2 pills that were Molly, and I was just fucking drunk at a video shoot, and like they let me drive home, and I shouldn't say they let me, but I let myself get to that point, like just being oblivious. I was supposed to go pick her up from work. It was fucked up. And like another situation happened after that. Like that didn't even stop me. That really woke me up. And it was like, yo, if you're going to like provide for your family, like you said you were going to, you can't be the same Joey. Like for you to live, he has to die. So it was homicide or suicide. Homicide was kill this version of you and rebirth, or suicide, keep drinking like you're doing, buddy, and you're going to fucking kill yourself. And I went to church that next morning, hungover as fuck. And I tell people, my whole being go gadget ratchet left me, and like I overdosed on the Holy Ghost, man. And I started flooding myself in scriptures instead of liquor. I always say I started really being inside of the church, and June 30th, 2016 was that day I stopped drinking, and I haven't had one sip since. And it's my, like, I stopped like the whole Yak Boy Fresh thing. Like I was done. Like it was so hard for me to leave him behind though, because I've built such greatness in the eyes of everyone else. And now me, like the fact that I even changed over to Joey Yak, like it was such a hard transformation. Right. But it's when I got sober, man, a month after that, which people relate now as me talking into business, is I got a sales position. So now I'm a month sober, like a month and a half. So June 30th. And then August 1st, I got a job at selling digital marketing. I never knew nothing about sales. All I heard was I was getting paid $17 an hour and I could get 216% commission. I said, hold up. If I sell a $500 product, I can get over $1,000. They said, yeah. I said, sign me up. Walked in there, sold them me. I said, I've never sold that shit before, but I sold, Crazy Bone. I sold Ali. I know how to sell me, so I'll know how to sell your product. And they were blown away. They were like, hired me on the spot. I became the #1 sales rep, stayed there for a year and a half, and really fell in love with sales and self-development. And, I really started my road down to self-improvement around that stage, like when I got sober. And, I went to a seminar of Mark Lack. My buddy Zach Babcock had a free ticket for me, and I went there, and I never knew about this entrepreneur world that we're in. And I was like, hold on, people are doing this? Like, this is a thing? I seen Billie Jean come there for the first time. I was like, I am those people. I'm just not there yet. Like, I know that about me. I don't have your money, and I'm not known yet, but like, I'm you, right? So that really sparked something in me. Then I started to go into more seminars and conferences like Eric Thomas. And, I was just like, wow, like I'm going to be one of these people. Right. And it's funny because I share stages with those type of people now easily. Like it's just so funny how the universe works, and like when you really know who you are. And so I left that job though, man. I thought I was going to start like Facebook ads for artists, right? Like I was like, oh man, I'm going to, I'm music. Maybe this is my purpose. Like, I'm just testing shit out. But I was always making theme music for people at my company on the side because they would want to cancel because our product sucked. So I was like, no, let me just make you some content. Like if you stay, and I would make them a custom song, and everybody loves that. So fuck it. And then I made one for my buddy Zach Babcock that's killing it in the podcast world, Underdog Empowerment. That's my guy.
So I met. So let me stop you for one second. A crazy story about Zach.
He lives 20 minutes from me, man. That's my dude.
So, like, I had zero idea who Zach was, and I happened to be hanging out with Tony Watley, Marcus Anderson Aurelius, and Tony's wife, and then there's this long-haired dude that's got tats, more tats than I've got, and Marcus or one of the two were saying, yeah, this guy's doing really good in the podcast, whatever on his podcast. I was like, I've never fucking heard of him. Right. So we have lunch, and we're all having lunch, and I don't know any of these guys. I mean, I know them, but I don't really know them. And so the power of that meeting was so important because, I got to see what Zach has done. Zach and I connected, obviously. But, Zach is really like, it's quite impressive what he's done in this short amount of time, really.
I'm very proud of him, man. I'm very, 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 very proud of him because, when we went out, like we've been through stages of like, this is what we're doing. And then we're like, nah, dude, we ain't doing that. Then it's like, we're doing this. And then we're like, no, we're not doing that. We're being fake right now. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Right. And we come from this urban environment, like right next to each other where we're very similar in like how we were raised and how we grew up and just like the vibe of who we are. It's a no bullshit mentality. And it was very, very important for us to be who we are, right? And we finally have found a way to make profit, but also be who we are while doing that, right? He's way more alpha of like little bitch than I am. Like I'm more of a soul type of dude, like, but that's my guy, man. I love that dude to death. But me going to that event with him really opened my eyes, man. And, when I quit my job, I made him the first song and he showed people, and then other little people started coming to me, and I was like, hold up. And then is when I really started doing the fuck asking for permission. I do this. I made a song for Billie Jean, and I did a music video. I filmed me rapping it, and then I stole his videos off a line, and I put it as B-roll, and I posted it on a whole bunch of his statuses, and one of his team members found it and was like, yo, this is dope as fuck. Billy ends up calling me, and he's like, dude, I'll pay you $500 for that. I was like, I don't want your money. Just help me, man. I'm new to this shit. Like, help me learn, man. And he put it out there, and then I really started getting leads and having people come on, and then I started seeing that the formula works. I'm not asking for permission. I do this. If you want it, awesome. Because I've spent 15 years in doing what I do. Like you could tell me your life story. I can make it in a song in 1 hour. No bullshit. And you'd be blown the fuck away. And that's like, you're not paying for that 1 hour. You're paying for my 15 years experience and my journey that I've been on, period. So I started doing that, man, but I was building and burning. So I took an entrepreneur job with Garrett J. White and Wake Up Warrior for 2019. So whole 2019, like he created abundance for me. I come from scarcity for real, but the way he paid me and the way that he mentored me, it was beautiful, man. And I got to sit there and close for Wake Up Warrior and make comment or engage in comments and create content for them. And at the end of 2019, though, he let me go. And it was really, really, really fucked up. Like how we got on the call, right? And I'm thinking me and my wife are like, yeah, we're going to get this house in 2020. We're going to get out this small motherfucking house we're in right now, literally as we're speaking. And I'm thinking we're going on the call to talk about our future when really he was letting me go at that moment. And I was very bitter at that moment. But like, I even told my wife, like, us being bitter right now is going to make me better. And in order for me to do what I need to do for us to accomplish what we want to accomplish is not be bitter. And like, I literally took it as a sign because I have the choice and I have the decision, because everything is a choice and a decision, to rise. And right then and there, and the dope part is, man, he paid me 3 months. Like, he's like, I'm letting you go, but I'm going to pay you for 3 months, which like, I wouldn't have been able to live if he didn't do that. Right. So as I'm building my business, he's still paying me for 3 months, which is, it's love, man. Like, it's love. And I went through a depression phase and like a dark phase of like, fuck, man, I'm in a funk because I didn't even want to leave. But like, what you truly believe is a burden is the biggest blessing, because I've been making so much fucking money this year already, and I'm back to doing me. And now I own a company with Ryan Stewman. You know, what that taught me was I will never rely on anybody to pay me ever again, because the feeling I felt in my stomach and the look on my wife's face when I told her like I damn near just got fired, it wasn't cool, bro. So I took that as a lesson, and it's a beautiful thing. So when I reached out to Stewman, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm done with them, I'm available, what's good, but I'm not for hire. He was like, cool, let's partner. I was like, bet. So now it's, you know, I'm staying true to me and staying true to my word. But that's my journey, man. I've been on this journey for probably more than 15 years. You know, I'm 28 years old, and I feel like I've lived like 4 fucking different lives. And my journey has just really begun, right? Like, it's just like how Charlie, like, my story isn't over. And me and Charlie just spoke the other day about like us connecting on me doing a whole bunch of music for his type of shit. And it's just, the universe works in beautiful ways and crazy ways, dude. It's like, once you change your perspective, though, you really can change your life, and you will attract those type of people that are meant to. Just like you and I are talking right now, the podcast before this, like, I'm finally in a place in my life. I know who I am, so I'm really, really ready to let everybody else know who I am, because a lot of people are out here, they want everyone to know who they are, but they don't even know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, and we were talking a little bit about this, I think, before we started recording, is, you know, there are times that I go through and I think about, you know, the imposter syndrome, because, you know, it's hard for me to see the really great things that are, it's even hard for me to say, for that matter. It's hard for me to look at the great things that I've done or that I do and think that, you know, and think that I don't even know how to say it really. Like, you know, I will say this. I do love doing like my podcast. This is where I'm in flow. This is me. You're not going to get any other person than the person sitting right here. You're getting the best me right now, because for whatever reason, when I'm in front of this mic and I'm talking to somebody like you or whoever it is, it doesn't matter who it is. I am the most fulfilled that I've ever been in my life.
It's because you're in the moment, you're present, you are where your feet are, right? Like, and it's something very beautiful about, and I use the word beautiful for some reason a lot now, but I'm really starting to connect like the universe in the way of it's just simple. What we're doing is simple, and like simple to me is sexy, small to me is sexy, and it's no hype involved right here. You and I speaking, connecting one-on-one. And the fact that you and I even, like, I'm looking at my microphone right now and I'm talking to my mic and I'm talking real fast and I'm moving my hands and you still can understand me and we're looking at each other. That is fantastic. And we like belittle it, like make it familiar. Something so fantastic soon becomes familiar. I say that every day of my life so I can make sure that, you know, because here's the thing. I do my songs for people and I come in this house and I'll show my wife and my kids and they're like, cool. And they're not saying cool because like it's not good. They're saying cool because I'm dad and I'm husband to them. I'm not Joey Yak, the studio CEO. So if people like, but I know it's fantastic, but like people getting that familiar flow of like what they do isn't fantastic. And when we're on podcasts like this, just connecting, you know, it becomes simple and all the hype. You find silence in this chaotic world, right? Like that's what I believe when you connect one-on-one, eye to eye, and can feel each other's soul, because me and you have never met in person. We just connected yesterday for the first time. And I believe that you don't need to meet people in person to connect with one another's soul. That's real. And that's what the beauty of podcasts is, man. Like people say internet messed. Hey.
What?
I see somebody walk through the door.
My door?
Yeah. It's all good. That's dope. I'm surprised mine hasn't yet. She jumped out hella quick. But no, it's just beautiful, man. The fact that we can connect the way we do, and it's you can literally silence this chaotic world when you're in moments like this. Even listening to them. That's why I'm obsessed with listening to podcasts. I put my headphones on and I'm in a zone, man. And you get to learn, and you can be. I'm a producer and a consumer, right? Like on the content. You can fall into the trap of social media, or you can take advantage and use it for an advantage. You know, you get glass half empty and half full. You know, it's which way you're gonna, you know, look at the cup.
It's true. That's absolutely true. Especially this time right now. I mean, this is the shit. This is the crazy fucking part about right now, because I'm not sure when I'll drop this, but because we haven't really talked about the fucking virus, because I really don't want to talk about the fucking virus.
Right.
But you know, it takes something like this stupid ass fucking virus to bring people together, and which is weird because we're doing it via the computer. But have you not had more almost human connection since this shit?
God has to interrupt the normal in order to start a new beginning. And like, that's how I'm looking at it. Like, all right, I see you, you know, I feel you. Like, you gotta cause some chaos. And in the Bible, even like John 16:33, I think it is, it's like, in this world, you're gonna see trouble. So it's like, when shit like this happens, you know, some people are like, why would God let that person die? Or why would God let this virus out? Like, I don't even think like that at all. Like, at all. Like, but I just know that God has to interrupt the normal in order for something new to happen. And I'm just excited. Like, I'm like excited about this journey. Like, I'm staying safe, make sure my family's staying safe. We're homebound. We ain't letting nobody coming over. Like, I'm not fucking around with this shit. But it's, you know, it hasn't really fucked with my money at all. But, you know, like we said, we're not really going to talk about it, but it's, I'll just go back and say it one more time, is in order, and this is not even the virus, this is anything in life. Like, in order for you to start something new, your normal has to get interrupted somehow. So, you know, a lot of people get anxiety and depressed about that. But if you can change your perspective on that and say, damn, you know, this is going to be more glory for the story. I'm in the middle of a breakthrough, and you know what? Like, he's interrupting this for a reason, and let me take advantage of that. And now, like, every time I see the number 8, my daughter just turned 8, and instantly I'm like, damn, she's 8, because 8 in the Bible stands for new beginning. So I always tell, like, when I see the number 8, or I tell people when they see the number 8, like, it's a sign, man, like new beginnings, and new beginnings to do it different. Right. So a lot of these people, I hope, you know, when you listen to this and you look to the side, you see the number 8 somehow, because hopefully it's a sign for you that it's a new beginning in something. Like, there's always a way to shift into a new beginning. And everybody listening to this, they're probably listening to this because they're looking for a way to get out of a way that they're in. Right. And, yeah, man, it's interrupt the normal to start a new beginning. 8's up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a pattern. You know, it's a pattern interrupt, which is just, I mean, think about every day. You know, we're programmed at a small age to do shit that we continue to do over and over and over because it's a pattern. And unless, like you said, unless you break that pattern, nothing's gonna change. You know, it's just like if you this is a great example. And for anybody listening, try this shit for 5 days. So if you brush your teeth with your right hand every day, every fucking morning, or whenever you brush your teeth, hopefully you brush them every morning. You know, switch hands. Switch hands, and as long as you're not whatever the fuck it is that you can do shit with 2 hands, I can't pronounce the word. But if you're right-handed, try to brush your teeth with your left hand. You'll see how fucked up it is, and how weird it is, and how disoriented you are, because you're so programmed to do it with that right hand. You know what I'm saying? So anybody listen, try that shit, because it scrambles your fucking brain. Like, well, actually, neuroscience has proven that it literally produces new neurosynaptic something. In other words, essentially new connections, rewired, whatever Joe Dispenza says. I can't think of it exactly what he says, but especially if you've never listened to his shit or watched his videos, he's amazing, by the way. But it's essentially you're rewiring your brain to think, opposed to be on fucking autopilot. Because think about it, most folks every day get up the same side of the bed. They get up and turn the alarm clock with the same arm. They get up and brush their teeth with the same hand. They get their coffee mug, the same fucking one every day. You know, it's the same shit. So you got to consciously change something if you want something to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not easy. You know, it's very simple to talk about it, but it's not easy. It's the same But I'll tell you what, like once you make these big changes, and like I said, small is sexy. So like, don't try to change like this crazy big change, right? But because I believe 10 subliminal moves will create your one big power move. And like in my whole life, I feel like that's adding up now. And even where I'm at right now, I think it's going to lead. And like, so like what I think is a power move is truly just still another subliminal move. Because I'm not done, right? Because I'm not dead. If you're not dead, you're not done, period.
True.
And I truly believe, just like with alcohol, I had that click. And like Tim Grover, great dude, you know, that's somebody that always reaches out to me still to this day after he brought me on stage and like let me rap. And I mean, the dude just like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's trainer, like he literally, he really, it's another seed he planted in me because he looked at me and he was just like, you know, you pulled through, bro. Like you can't, you're ready. You know, you could tell you've been training your whole life for shit like this, and it's real. And he says, you know, when you get to the point where you don't trust your instincts trust you, is when it's relentless. And like I feel that way inside of how I let go of alcohol. I had that click, that instinct, and my instinct trusted me because he knew, hey, you know, when you get this click, it's game on. And I had the same click when I left my job. I had the same click when I said, I'm not going to be bitter, I'm going to be better. When I left Warrior, I had that same click when I looked at my wife and said, I'm about to hold it down. Now, it took 6 months to me to really begin to do that, but I had that click and leaving, you know, Hollywood behind. And I had that click where we kind of talked about it yesterday was when I was sitting in my hot tub and said, yo, I'm never going to take Adderall ever again because I used to say it's not an addiction if you have a prescription. I used to joke around by that. It's not an addiction if you have a prescription. I got a bottle with my name on it. And the reason why I stopped even taking Adderall, because like, you know, and I even told you yesterday, I'm a firm dude. Like, you know, when I say on June 30th, 2020, it will be 4 years now to sip alcohol. On April 11th, 2020, it would be 1 year of no Adderall. But I'll still hit weed here and there, right? So when I say sober, I'm talking about that. So maybe I should say I haven't drank, I haven't done that, because I will hit weed here and there because it doesn't progress, or it doesn't like eliminate me from being who I'm becoming as a father, as a husband, as a business owner, as like taking care of my fitness. But alcohol was, and Adderall had me as this like vicious hustler where I would like not even be like visible to my family sometimes, where I would wake up, hustle, and I just wanted to hustle, right? Like my brain was just so fried of taking it. And how I got off of Adderall, man, was I started at 30 milligrams. I got down to 25. Then I jumped back to 35 for some weird way because the doctors work that way. And then I got back down to 25, then 20, then 15, then 10. And then listening to this audiobook, Breaking Habits, I was sitting in my hot tub, man, and it clicked. It said, today is the day. And I have one pill left in my cabinet right now that I kind of tempt myself with, same way I did with alcohol. We kept a whole bunch of alcohol sitting in the fridge, and I just stared at it, and I was good, right? Like I was good. And same with this little pill that's sitting in my cabinet right now. It's like that click was so powerful, and my instincts trust me that I can stare at that thing and I'm not even tempted. Even though there are days where I'm sluggish and I'm like, fuck, I wish I could just take an Adderall, trigger my brain to be like, let's go, you know? But yeah. I don't fall into that temptation at all. And I'm staying strong with it because I don't trust my instincts. My instincts trust me, and I take that very seriously.
Now, did you, when you had Adderall, did you abuse Adderall?
There were times where I would like, I've snorted it before, but like not a lot. But there have been times where like I would take my prescription as planned, and you know day would go by, and I would break up one, you know, because I would have the 30 milligram time capsules, time release, and I would also have like a 10 milligram pill. So I would just break that pill in half and maybe eat it, and you know, get going for about 3-4 more hours later. But I would never sit there and like pop through my script in 10 days type shit.
Right,
you know? Like,
right.
I was never that dude like at all. My dad was a crackhead, and then he was addicted to Vicodin. Then he became a crackhead. And then when he was in rehab, he married someone in rehab that had a meth problem, and they had 3 kids, which are my brothers and sisters. And I'm finally at a place in my heart now where I can call them my brothers and sisters. Cause it was like, my side of the family was tape A. His new family was tape B, right? On a cassette tape. Like I didn't fuck with them, but now I'm like, I know I'm in a place now where I can like guide them and mentor them as a big brother. Because, he is married to someone that is going through same drug problems with him, where he's relapsed on ice, which is meth. And, but I never had that problem, man. Like I never would go binge, throughout days. Like alcohol was my demon, man. And adderall, I would use it as prescribed. Some days I would take a half a pill, but no, I would never abuse it.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because, you talk about meth, like, when I lived in Las Vegas, I moved out to Las Vegas with, I think I had about 4 ounces of cocaine strapped. This is funny. It actually is going to certify me as being an idiot, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway. So I strapped 4 ounces of cocaine to my leg, and how I did it was with duct tape, thinking that if I go through a metal detector that I'll be straight. Fucking duct tape has goddamn metal in it. Right. So fortunately, I got on a train for 5 days from Greensboro, North Carolina to fucking Needles, California, wherever that is. And throughout that trip, I wound up actually busting out the coke and doing something with some people on the train. But also that fucking train for 5 days without a sleeper cabin because, well, 2 reasons. One, I didn't sleep a whole lot. You can only imagine. And 2, I didn't know there was a sleeper cabin. I just didn't think about it. It didn't dawn on me. So I was in a chair the whole 5 days. And I get out to Vegas and I meet this guy. I was just telling somebody this yesterday. I meet this guy and he's from the East Coast, so we have a hangout, and I'm sitting in between 2 guys, right? One guy's named Stormy, one guy's named Ed, and I'm upstairs at this guy's apartment. Did I already say he's from the East Coast? Yeah. Okay. So we bonded, and so I'm sitting in this guy Stormy, guy Ed. We're watching television, and fucking Stormy and Ed's face pop up on the goddamn screen because they just robbed a fucking casino. Damn. And I'm like, I'm almost shit myself. I'm just sitting there like, I don't even know what the fuck I don't know what to say. I don't know what to fucking do. Like, I don't know. Do I say anything? I like, what? So I just sat there. And finally they left. And the guy was like, I'm really shocked. My buddy was like, I'm shocked they didn't kill you. And I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised they didn't either. Shit, for real.
Anyway, that's
a wake-up call right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it was, for sure. Dude, whenever you and Charlie really connect even more, you're going to find out. You probably already know this, but your story is so similar to his. Very. Like super similar.
He did it way bigger than me. Honestly, like him with 2 Chainz, like he and you can hear it in his voice as well, like very smooth, particular, Atlanta cat. Like we vibe instantly. I've known about him for years, but I truly believe there's a time in the universe where you're going to connect with the people you're supposed to connect with. So I never rushed it. I even told him that, like, dude, people been trying to connect me with you for a while, but like, I just didn't feel like it was the time. Same with like Andy Frisella. I know you're in with Am I Letting Them? I'm in St. Louis, but like for some reason, I truly believe that it's better for me to build who I am. I don't know why. I think like this, but when I meet him, I feel like I'm going to be at a level of like, yeah, like I'm up there, right? Like, and right now I'm not saying that I'm not worthy or valuable to the dude. It's just, I have expectations on me. Like I think it's a St. Louis thing. Like a lot of people in St. Louis always try to meet people in St. Louis to get something from them, and in the music industry. And I've always been the guy that had worked backwards, and I would go out and get mine and then come back home. And it's like, I'm the guy that I'm out here paying my dues. So I just feel like I'm going to continue to pay my dues. And whenever I meet the dude, right? We're in the same city. I probably could already connected with him from hundreds of people. I've worked with a lot of people that are inside of that movement that you guys are a part of, Oh,
Arte, yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of people are my clients.
That's true.
A lot.
True.
But I'm not tripping, man. The universe works in dope ways, and I know it's gonna happen. But yeah, man, it's Charlie's good dude. We vibe, and we have very similar stories. Music industry is one hell of an experience and a learning lesson if you take what you can learn from it.
I'm just, I gotta say, man, I'm super motherfucking impressed that you even made it out, to be honest. Because I mean, think about such a young kid, and having such an amazing success so quickly, and being around all these big ass fucking names, and then you humbled up, fucking took a sales job or whatever it was at the time, and and now look how things have turned around. It was a decision. You just made a decision that led you to the next good decision, led you to the next good decision, and now you're here.
Well, a lot of people don't know that people don't make the decision or the choice because they're scared on what's the other side of the door, right? But I just on one of my episodes I'm going to drop for Backyard Business is encourage or embarrassment is just future encouragement. And I told a story about, one of the jobs that I took when I came back home. My buddy Rob Shaw, he gave me a job where I would take gas out of rental cars, and I would like rip off the license plates, and like, he just did it because he wanted to help me out. He didn't even need no help. And like thinking back then, like I remember how embarrassed I was, and now I get to tell the story, and it's encouraging because so embarrassment is just future encouragement. And when I thought about that the other day, I was like, that's deep as fuck, and that really could help somebody, because what's on the other side of the door is what you choose to be on the other side of the door. You don't open up the door and there's like this boogeyman. Like there might be like that angel right there that you're looking for. But even if it is the boogeyman, if you can change your perspective on, cool, this is just more glory for my story, I'm not going to let it make me bitter, because that won't make me better. And I know right now I'm in the middle of the biggest breakthrough of my life. And 3, 4, 5 months from now, maybe longer, maybe shorter, I'm going to get to be able to tell my story, because I think that everybody's purpose is to be able to package up their pain and present it to their platform, or package up their passion, or package up their problems and present it to their platform, or present it as a product. Because being an expert in something is just being one step ahead of someone, right? Like I took Adderall, other people taking Adderall. Well, I'm out of Adderall. I'm gone from Adderall now, but there's other people now that hit me in my inbox like, how did you do it? It's just one step ahead is all you need to be in order to serve somebody in a way. So whatever is your biggest weakness really can be a strength once you overcome that, right? And I think it's so played out nowadays, and so many people say it without the meaning and experience behind it, that people take it as corny and cheesy. That's why it's so important to be vulnerable. There's victory in being vulnerable, because when you let people know all of you, then they will start believing in the whole, scarcity to strength, weakness to strength, trials to triumph, all those little cool pain to positivity. Like, that's why it's important to have your experiences out there, because now you're getting high on your own supply. Now you're letting them know how you overcame that. So now they can actually believe in those statements. There's a lot of people out here preaching and teaching, but they're not living or haven't been through it.
That's a great fucking point, dude. Like, it's such a great point, because, we've both been through, the drugs, alcohol, whatever. And like, you just can't, it's like I think it's so interesting when you've got a doctor that, is a psychiatrist or whatever the fuck, and you go in and you discuss your addictions with them, and they've never been through addiction. I think it's really hard for me to, it's hard for me to really understand how that motherfucker understands.
Like I have a lot of people reach out to me like, a lot of people hit me up about the whole alcohol thing, and it'd be like about their dad or something. And I'm like, look, man, if the dude, I have a solution for you. It's iamcomeback.com. My homeboy Mark created a company, and he's crushing shit. But if your dad's not the one reaching out to me saying I want to change, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't get what he's going through. And until his perspective has changed on like, and have that click of like, I need the help, because the first step of changing is accepting that you have the problem, not like, and you could still be there for people and supporting. But when you said that, what triggered my mind was heroin. Like, I've never done heroin. I have sympathy for people like that do it and that get hooked on it, because it's like, fuck, man, there's like these young kids out here that are just beautiful that you never would think would be hooked on it. And they take some Vicodin and Percocets, and then they get hooked, and then they can't get it. And then, heroin's $5, $10, and they take that capsule and they're like, yo, I'm fucked up and I love this feeling. And then they get hooked, I can't give you guys a solution. I just have to know. All I can say is, I've been through addiction, and I feel your pain. I might not be able to feel your pain of that particular drug, but addiction is an addiction. And I believe sometimes addicts are always going to be addicts. I'm just an addict now of self-improvement. I'm just an addict now of being a good husband. I'm just an addict now of being a good father. I'm just an addict now of growing my business. I'm just an addict now of being who Joey Yak really is. You know what I'm saying? And Yak is a spiritual thing to me now, man. Yak, you should just be like, yo, who's got the Yak? Or Yak stands for you already know, but it was like, yo, what are we doing tonight? Yak, you already know, I fucking around. But then it led to now spiritually, and I really felt this by going through the material of Wake Up Warrior with Garrett J. White, which is you already know. Like everything that we need to know about us, like we already know. Like if we can get silence in this chaotic world, the noisy world, if we can find a little bit of silence, which is inner peace, and you can hear that voice, you call it God, call it whatever you want. If you can find that inside of you, you will already know what you need to do, how to do it, because there's not a blueprint or a playbook for everything, a how to do, but you already know what you need to do. And like, even when you guys hear me say Joey Yak, you already know. And if you don't, you never will. If you're this deep in the episode, you already know, because literally you could feel the energy. You don't have to know me to feel my soul. You can see it, right? Or you can hear it and feel it and sense it. And that's why Yak is such a big part of me, and it will always be a part of me, is because you already know. You do, I do, everybody else knows if they can find inner peace inside of themselves.
It's a fair point, dude. It's a great point. So, Joey, I want to wrap up really quick because I want to find. But the last question I wanted to ask you is that Garrett White. What I find so ironic about the fact that you work for Garrett, or there's several pieces to this puzzle. About 6 months ago, I'm going to say, one of her name is Dr. Erin, draaron.tv on Instagram. She's a friend of mine, and she's also been on the podcast. And she sent me this video, and it was, what is the name of it? Warrior what?
Wake Up Warrior.
Wake Up Warrior. So it's a 4-hour documentary, and she was like, Corey, look, it's a long fucking documentary. I 100% can see you doing this. I need you to watch this. Like, what she meant was, I can see you running something like this. Well, that's exactly what she said. And I'm like, okay. So I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, how the fuck does she see? I mean, how do I look like I would fit into this whole thing? Like, and so I'm watching, and I'm like, this thing seems really cool. Like, what was it like to work? What was it like to work around that? Did you go through the thing, by the way?
I didn't do Warrior Week. I got to do Be the Man Challenge boot camp, which was like a 2-day, which still was very intense. It's the thing about Warrior is you're in a brotherhood of people that are looking to be better inside of their marriage. They're looking to be better fathers. They're looking to build their business bigger. And when you align your actions with your intentions, something becomes very powerful in the room. Like when everyone is around each other and they're there, and their action is that they're there, and their intention is, I'm trying to be a better dad, or I'm trying to be a better husband, or I'm just trying to, be better, me, and make more money, and, everything else. It's a beautiful, wonderful, crazy experience, because you don't see a lot of people that have actions and intentions aligning together. And that's when you can make powerful moves, is when your actions and intentions align with other people, right? It was a great learning experience. And I was a student before I was a team member. I went there, I signed up, I put $3,000 on my credit card, when I was at WarriorCon 3 back in 2018. And that's when, like, they said, hey, come to the event. I was like, bet. I flew out there, like, and I had no money, man. Like, when I was messing with all these big names, like with Brad Lee, and like when I met Brad Lee, I lied to him and told him I was going to be in Vegas. And, he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, come through. And like, then I booked my ticket. I didn't have money for a hotel room, so I rented a $20 car, drove to LA, slept on my boy Scotty's floor, drove back in the morning, stuck around until he could see me. Then he felt my soul, and he bought me a room for 2 days. And the thing is, like, people can feel the realness. Real recognizes real, and it doesn't wipe off. I didn't have money to go to Warrior. I spent like $2,000 to get out there because the room was like $1,000 because like the facility that they were in, the plane tickets, and then I did an additional $3,000 on my credit card. But what that led me to get into the Brotherhood, and a month later, they flew me and my family out here and said, yo, we want to hire you, and we want to give you $100,000 throughout the year. But you got to work with us only. I said, I'm in. Let's do this. And it showed me abundance. I lived in abundance for the first time. And, when he let me go, that's what I was scared of. Like, fuck, man, like, where's the abundance going to go? But I felt the abundance. So now I know how to go back and get it. And I'm already –
Hey, sorry, Joey. Because you gotta hit on what you mean really by abundance in this scenario, because you talked about him paying you, and then you talked about abundance, but I don't think the money is what you meant by the abundance. Am I correct?
No, the abundance is abundance in money, but also in the ability to learn more about me. Right? I was available more like. Because when you're a hustler, right, and I've always been a backpack hustler. Like, I was never an entrepreneur, and I finally switched into that, right? And, there's hustler, entrepreneur, CEO, the king. That's how we look at it inside of there, where the king is just, like, on top of it, and you have everybody else running your shit. And the abundance of finding who Joey really was and when it comes financially, I finally, for the first time ever, was, like, being able to put money away and not being able to be worried about where everything was going to come from, man. Like, I've never had that in my life. Like, I come from a very middle-class family. And then when my dad, did what he did, and, we never had money. We never had money. So the fact that I'm making all of this type of money, and $100,000 to some people is chump change, right? But for me, it was what I needed at the time. I needed to experience $100,000 with no chargebacks, because at my sales job, I would experience $100,000, but I would get hit with chargebacks all the time. And it's what I needed to hit me to that next level. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to go from, 30, 40, 50 grand to $1 million. Like, it doesn't, and some people it works like that, but it doesn't work like that for a lot of people, where there's levels to this shit. And I'm finally at the second phase of the level of entrepreneur phase. And I think that I am mentally, spiritually, like, on the inside, I'm way ahead of my time. Then, the money isn't making me. Like, I'm already $1 million status in my mindset. Like, I'm already a multimillionaire. I'm just not there yet. Just like when I seen the people at Mark Lack's event, like, I am you guys. I'm just not there yet. Like, I know I have more dues to pay. I know I have more time to put in. But I think that's what a lot of people are looking for nowadays, is like, who is there, who is building their character, because talent will get you there, but it won't keep you there if you're not willing, for one, to pay the price, and for two, to maintain the discipline that it takes to rise to these type of levels. And that's why a lot of people build and burn. And I was building and burning at first, but yeah, man, I know what abundance feels like now. And, at least I know what it feels like for me. And now, I'm easily going to hit $100,000 this year. And it's dope, man. There's levels to this shit. And I'm at that second phase of that level. And I didn't have to say none of that. I could, how you said, like, reaching out to me, you were, like, yeah, I charge a nice amount of money for my services, but I'm such an open book. And I think that is what gets me more clients than even my talent, because there's victory in being vulnerable, and I share all of me. I'm an open book, and people can feel that and relate to that. And that's who Joey Yak is. And that's how every single person that had me on their podcast, they leave with it like, dude, you're a beast at making theme music and content, but, like, I fuck with you. I really do. I feel your soul as a husband, as a father, and as an individual.
Yeah, and it's so fucking funny you say that, because I'm pretty sure I said something very similar to that yesterday to you, or you said it to me, vice versa, and we both agreed that, like, there's just something synergistic that comes with being in your presence for whatever reason that is. I mean, it's just, you just have a welcoming, you're just a cool motherfucker, period.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, let's go ahead and wrap up. Do you, Joey? Do you have? Can you tell everybody where to find you? Social
Facebook,
and all this.
Facebook, Instagram. I'm not even on Twitter. That's just no Snapchat, and No TikTok either. I'm just Instagram and I'm just Facebook. It's Joey Yak, Joey.Yak for Instagram and Joey Yak Peeper on Facebook, PIEPER. Reach out to me on my personal page. I'm on my, obviously the fan page as well, but I'm more mainly on the personal page just because I love to connect with people just on a personal level.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
And
man.
absolutely.